Ba-da-bum, 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 ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
All right, Week 7 NFL. Garbage kicks off Thursday night with a delicious NFC East matchup between the Giants and the Eagles. Listen, the NFC East is just... I've already talked about this. Everyone knows the deal. There's nothing new to say here. There's 4 teams in that division. They're all garbage. One of them's going to host a playoff game and get lit up, and that's it. And then everything else is now it's just they just got to play the games. I think I read somewhere that there's based on the remaining schedule, there's like a 28% chance that the NFC East winner finishes with 6 wins, which is that's a ridiculously high percentage this early in the season. But if you think about it, listen, NFC East has to play all the NFC West teams, and they got to play all the AFC North teams, and those are probably the 2 best overall divisions in football. So you could definitely see how that could happen. But again, and listen, I'd be careful about taking Philly if you're in like a survivor pool, because even though Philly's got a bad record, they still got some guys that can win games and things like that. And the Giants are just awful. But I'd be careful about taking the Eagles in this game because they got nobody. They got Wentz, and that's it. It's all backups tonight. So they're not going to score a lot of points. So if for some reason they get a turnover and a lucky play, and before you know it, the Giants are up 14-0, you're like, why did I pick this team in my eliminator pool? So I'm just saying, just be careful. I think Philly will somehow win the game, though, just because Giants are... listen, the Giants... Listen, the Redskins went for... The Washington team went for 2 last week to try to get the win, and they missed it. But otherwise, they'd be 0-6 or whatever. Eagles will win. Just skip this one. All right, Sunday, early games. Detroit is at Atlanta. One surprise that they, played well, after they fired a coach. That's something that usually happens. They'll come back down to earth this week. Detroit's hanging around. Listen, with Chicago having off to a great start and Green Bay in that division, Detroit's not going to make the playoffs, but Detroit will be, they'll be live every week. They can score points. And I think they'll beat Atlanta this week. But again, at this point, with 90% of these games, you're just rooting for fantasy shootouts. Really, Atlanta, Minnesota last week was just ridiculous. You had Justin Jefferson, you had Hayden Hurst scoring long, meaningless touchdowns. Matt Ryan, obviously, and Kirk Cousins getting those points, too. It's just, those are the games you're just rooting for at this point, because who really cares who wins? Here's another one, Cleveland to Cincinnati. The Browns, have played well for most of this year, but when they go against the big boys, they turn back into the Browns. And again, they did it with the Ravens. They did it against the Steelers. You're getting the Bengals this week, so they'll probably look good again. And again, you're just rooting for a fantasy shootout. I'll take Cleveland, but this game's probably a toss-up. Pittsburgh's at Tennessee. Titans look really good. Titans, if they weren't in the AFC with the Chiefs, like if Tennessee was in the NFC, this team's going to Super Bowl. Because there's nobody in the NFC that impresses you. Maybe Seattle, but their defense is not great either. But Tennessee is they're all around. And man, oh God, Derrick Henry's fun to watch, isn't he? Guy throws down defenders. He runs for 90-yard touchdowns. He's just. And if you own him in fantasy, it's just wonderful. And again, Pittsburgh. Roethlisberger's played well this year. They've got a bunch of receivers they can go to. They're not relying on Juju. Connor's run well. They've got some bags. Listen, this is going to be a great game. I'm going to take Tennessee. Just because I think Tennessee's just got a more complete team all around, but great ball game, and hey, let's get a shootout. Carolina's at New Orleans. Panthers. again, they're kind of like Detroit. They'll be live, but they're not going to end up. They're not going to the playoffs. But they can give you a game. The Saints, the Saints are weird right now because you don't know if Michael Thomas is going to play again. Now he's got a hamstring again. So I don't know what's going on with him. And if you own him in fantasy, it's just you probably should just trade him at this point because what is he going to do for you? I'll take New Orleans to win this game, but again, you're rooting for a fantasy shootout. Carolina's not going to playoffs. The Saints might, and that's it. Buffalo's at the Jets. The Jets. There's not. What are you going to say about the Jets? They don't have anybody. They don't have. Oh, hello, Poppins. Hello. Come on. You want to come up? Come on. Yeah, you're a good puppy. You're so good. Yes, you are. Yes, you're so good. Buffalo and the Jets. It's just a. Buffalo destroyed them in week 1. They're going to destroy them again, and that's it. The Jets are just look. They're a poorly run team, and listen. There's a lot of poorly run teams in the league. There's teams that haven't done anything, and listen. If you root for one of these teams, there's nothing you can do about it. There's not. Well, we got to do like all these guys on these sports shows that. They get on there and they try to tell you what's wrong with your team and how to fix it. These guys don't know shit. Everybody just runs their mouth on television. Nobody says anything meaningful. It's all bullshit. It's like, they've got to get a guy in there. They got to establish a winning culture. Like that's like a stupid thing you hear. Like, the hell does that even mean? We have to establish a winning attitude. Well, all right. What do? You walk in a room, say, all right, okay, we're gonna win the game. What? That doesn't mean anything. What does that even mean? Establish a winning culture. What does that mean? What do you have like a coffee shop where, or the break room where there's people there that are telling you how great you are and you're always going to win? I don't know. What is a winning culture? Someone tell me what that is. And don't say Belichick. Listen, Belichick's doing what he does. He's not establishing a winning culture. He's just dominating the league for the last 20 years. But anyway, I'm tired of hearing stupid things. If you root for these teams, there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. You root for the Jets, I'm sorry. Bills are going to win. Here's 2 more teams. Friggin' Cowboys and Washington. These teams are not good. They're not good. They're just not good. And there's nothing you can do about it. And one of these teams is going to win, And the problem with the Cowboys is, listen, it should be a lost season for the Cowboys. It really should be. But you're 2-4, you're in first place. And you have enough. They haven't played. Well, they played 1 division game. You still got 5 division games left. Against bottom feeder teams. And it's like this stupid team is going to keep you interested until the end. And it's like I don't want to be interested. I just want to just go through the motions, and let's see where Cowboys are going to be the first team whose record gets them a division title and a top 10 draft pick. That's where we're headed. If this keeps up. And listen, I'm gonna pick them to win because what else am I gonna do? But Washington's front line against Andy Dalton, I'm not looking forward to that. I'm not. That's not gonna look good. This is forget it. Who cares? Who cares? I'll root for the Cowboys. Pick the Cowboys. Who cares? Green Bay's at Houston. Both these teams had rough games last week. Green Bay got off to a good start, and then Rodgers threw a couple of picks, and then that was it. And then they gave up 38 straight points. Houston, battled with Tennessee. They came back in that game. They took the lead, and then, and the Titans, outlasted them. That's basically what it's going to be like for Houston this year. This season's over. Again, you got one team that's going nowhere. Green Bay will be in the playoffs. Let's root for a fantasy shootout. I think Green Bay's going to win. They're a better team. They've got better players. They have wide receivers. I don't want to hear about Brandon Cooks. Come on, let's stop it. Green Bay will win. Sunday late afternoon. It's Seattle's at Arizona. A good game, man. The Cardinals. And again, listen, they were playing the Cowboys the other night, so of course they're going to look good. But Man, you gotta love Kyler Murray. I mean, you gotta love what that team's building out there. I mean, the problem with the Cardinals is they're in the NFC West with the 49ers, the Seahawks, and the Rams. So, I mean, if the Cardinals were in the NFC East like they used to be, they would have ran away with the division already. But anyway, a good ball game here. Seattle coming off a bye. I mean, I want to take Arizona here, but I can't go against Russell Wilson just yet. I can't. Arizona's still a little too green for Russell Wilson not to outlast him in this one. So I'll take Seattle, but it'll be a good ball game. Kansas City's at Denver. Chiefs will have Le'Veon Bell play this week. Everyone who owns CEH is freaking out. And by the way, just quickly on CEH, I understand his name is pronounced Edwards-Helaire. The H is silent. So if that's the way his name is pronounced, then just say his name that way. Say Edwards-Helaire. Like, I hear guys on TV and the radio, they're like, Hilaire. Like, they say it obnoxiously, like, oh, why do I not pronounce it? That's the way the guy pronounces his name, all right? If the H is silent, then just say his name right. Don't be a douchebag, all right? I'm not interested in what you think the pronunciation of his name should be. No one cares. No one cares about your name either. So if the guy's name is Helaire, say Helaire. That's it. That's it. Just move on. Kansas City will beat the Broncos. I mean, come on. San Francisco's at New England. Patriots did not look good against Denver last week. And again, Newton was coming back after being out for a few weeks. 49ers got back on track against the Rams. This will be a low-scoring game. I mean, Garoppolo's coming back and playing. Belichick will find a way to win this game, even though the Patriots aren't looking good. There's no way he's losing to Garoppolo. I'll take New England. Jacksonville's at the LA Chargers. Love some Justin Herbert right now. I picked him up in a number of leagues. He looks like he's the real deal. I've got him in 2 dynasty leagues. Just an exciting player. They get an easy one this week with Jacksonville because the Jacksonville's not good. But Chargers have a lot of weapons. Defense is okay. Jacksonville's sloppy, and Chargers win. Sunday night, Tampa Bay is at Las Vegas. Buccaneers bounce back big time, getting a big win over the Packers. Get the Raiders coming out of a bye on Sunday night. Again, fantasy shootout. That's what you're rooting for. These are 2 good teams. I don't know if the Raiders got enough to make the playoffs. We'll see. Well, maybe now because 7 teams make the playoffs now. So yeah, maybe Raiders are a playoff team. I am gonna take Tampa in this one, just because their defense I think is going to be enough to give Derek Carr some problems. But I don't know. What do I know? I just think Tampa is a little bit better, so I'm going to take Tampa. And then you get your Monday night game. Chicago is at the Rams. Man, the Bears finding ways to win games. It's not flashy, it's not pretty, but it doesn't have to be. You got Nick Foles, who he's got that championship experience, and that's it. I don't know that you need to break this down any further. Rams are like every other week. It seems like they're 4-2, but all 4 of the wins came against the NFC East. So I don't know if we can get too excited about that. Bears defense, if I remember correctly, gave Jared Goff a lot of problems a couple years ago in a Sunday night game. I don't see why it's going to be any different this time around. And a low-scoring game, Bears find a way to win. And then that's it there. Colts, Dolphins, Vikings, Ravens are all on bye. I don't know if we got any COVID things. I think the Raiders, a couple of O-line guys tested positive, but or one of them did, and then if they're all negative, then everything's fine. But hopefully you don't got any more bumps with that. But if we have them, then listen, just deal with it. I mean, this is what you signed up for in fantasy. Don't complain about COVID that's messing up your fantasy lineup. You knew this was going to happen. But hopefully we got nothing this week. Let's see. My kid's got a baseball game again, doubleheader. So we'll see what we get on Sunday. But we'll keep an eye on the game. And there you go, Week 7 NFL.